Mercedes has finally unveiled its new car for the 2025 season, the W16, revealing a surprising feature that could have altered the course of the past two seasons if it had been resolved earlier. The team managed at last to fix the central issue that had troubled Lewis Hamilton during his final years behind the wheel. But it is important to note that this breakthrough comes just after Hamilton packed his bags and proudly switched to the iconic red of Ferrari. The irony is unmistakable. The very problem that left Hamilton frustrated and at times completely disillusioned with Mercedes' performance appears to have been eliminated, but precisely when he needed the solution the most, the team was unable to deliver. The question remains, what exactly was the root of this flaw? Why did its resolution take so long? And how will it impact Mercedes moving forward? The W16 was revealed only 2 days before the preseason tests in Bahrain, marking the beginning of a new chapter for the Silver Arrows. It appears that the team may have finally deciphered the puzzle that had haunted them for 3 seasons since the start of the ground effect era. While the W15 had its moments of brilliance, securing 4 wins in major races last year, it proved extremely inconsistent, especially during qualifying session. Hamilton, in particular, suffered from this instability, frequently starting from the back of the grid and having to fight hard to advance during the race. This was not a trivial issue. It was a systemic flaw that had plagued the team since the regulatory changes in 2022. Hamilton himself repeatedly expressed his frustration with the car's unpredictable performance from one weekend to the next. At the Singapore Grand Prix of 2024, he acknowledged that the previous 2 years had made life difficult for the entire team, explaining that the regulations complicated performance. Some weekends the car seemed promising, and on others, it would unexpectedly win a race, providing a brief surge of motivation. For a driver like Hamilton, who built his career in Formula One on the foundation of precision and consistency, dealing with such an erratic car must have been immensely challenging. He once compared the experience to playing golf, saying it was like occasionally hitting a perfect shot that encouraged him to continue, even if most attempts did not go as planned. This relentless search for that feeling of excellence, similar to what he experienced at Silverstone or Spa, kept him pushing forward. However, now that Hamilton embarks on his new journey with Ferrari, Mercedes technical director James Allison has announced that the team has finally overcome the problem that so long afflicted him. In this 4th year under the current chassis regulations, the cars have reached a more mature phase, according to Allison. He explained that, although significant gains in lap times are becoming increasingly difficult, the team focused on correcting the issues that hampered performance last year. Among their priorities was eliminating the subtle hesitation of the W15 when navigating low-speed corners and adjusting the imbalances in tire temperature that caused the car to perform inconsistently between sessions. In other words, the vehicle should now deliver improved performance in slower corners, an obstacle that had long hindered Hamilton. What does this mean for Mercedes in the 2025 season? Toto Wolff, team principal of Mercedes' Formula One operation, has already defined this new era as an exciting beginning. However, this era will no longer feature Lewis Hamilton. Instead, the Silver Arrows will boast a new driver pairing, with George Russell taking the lead alongside the young Italian talent Andrea Kimi Antonelli. We are entering an exciting phase in the sport for our team, Mercedes-AMG Motorsport in 2025, Wolff declared. We are building upon the magnificent legacy of our history, and we can hardly wait to compete. We have an exciting duo to help us reach our goals. Both drivers have come through our junior program, which reinforces our commitment to supporting and developing talent. It is clear that Mercedes is focused on the future, although the shadow of Hamilton's departure will linger at least during the first races of the season. The W16 also introduces significant changes in its design, as it no longer displays the red branding of Ineos on the air intake. Although the chemical giant remains an important shareholder, its presence has been considerably reduced, a fact that has sparked speculation about a possible connection with the company's recent acquisition of Manchester United. On the technical side, Mercedes completely overhauled all the aerodynamic surfaces of the W16 and introduced modifications to the front suspension. in an attempt to finally eliminate the deficiencies that made the W15 such a temperamental car. The big question now is how these changes will affect the team's performance in 2025. And more importantly, whether Mercedes will regret not having resolved this issue while Hamilton was still in command. One thing is clear: if Mercedes suddenly starts winning races again while Hamilton struggles to adapt to Ferrari, this could be one of the most dramatic turnarounds in the recent history of Formula One. The debate over what might have been is bound to intensify. For Hamilton, this new reality may be bittersweet. On one hand, he finally faces the challenge he has long desired, with the opportunity to drive for the most iconic team in Formula One. On the other hand, he may wonder if his departure from Mercedes was premature, especially if the W16 turns out to be an unstoppable force on the track. Meanwhile, George Russell and Antonelli have the monumental task of proving that Mercedes still has what it takes to compete at the very top. Russell will need to establish himself as the unquestioned leader of the team, while Antonelli will be under immense pressure to live up to the high expectations that have surrounded him since his junior career. On the opposite side of the grid, Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc will lead Ferrari's charge. Ferrari's technical director of chassis, Loic Serra, confirmed that the team has made significant efforts to improve its performance in qualifying, a change that could be a game-changer for Hamilton. During the 2024 season, Hamilton experienced major difficulties during qualifying sessions, being outperformed by George Russell in head-to-head battles, which culminated in his worst finish in Formula One history, ending the championship in 7th place. At one point, after another disappointing performance at Losail in Qatar, Hamilton stated plainly that he felt simply slow. Meanwhile, Ferrari finds itself in an unprecedented situation since 2017, having secured more race wins than pole positions. Although this helped in the final championship standings, Charles Leclerc repeatedly stressed the need to improve one-lap time. To address this, Loic Serra, who joined Ferrari from Mercedes in October 2024, noted that the new SF25 was designed with qualifying in mind. "The strength of the car during race pace is something we want to maintain and enhance," Serra explained. He pointed out that although Ferrari shows strong pace on race day, its qualifying performances still leave something to be desired. Serra emphasized that small differences can make a huge impact in Formula One, stating that if they can extract just a little bit more from that initial timed lap, they will benefit, especially when 30 milliseconds can mean an extra position on the grid. Will that be enough to contend for the title? Only time will tell. With the pre-season tests approaching, we will not have to wait long to find out if Mercedes' adjustments have truly transformed the W16 into a championship-caliber car. However, if the team suddenly starts winning races again, the biggest unknown in Formula One in recent years will be right before our eyes. What do you think? Has Mercedes finally solved its greatest problem at the worst possible moment? Could Hamilton come to regret his move to Ferrari if the W16 proves to be a monster on the track? Leave your opinion in the comments, and afterwards, do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel.